Good afternoon, one and all, said the wise one here with a very important question. And you can post your answers in the comments below if you'd like. I'd like to hear what you think. And that question is, imagine a world where every need is met. No hunger, no thirst, no danger, no struggle. Sounds perfect, right? But what if I were to say that nice, safe, perfect world could actually plant the seeds of destruction? We're going to use an experiment which was done with mice in a laboratory to prove this point. Back in the late 1960s and early 1970s, American biologist John B. Calhoun was fascinated by one particular question. And that question was, what would become of a society whose problems are all solved? In other words, if nobody had to worry about anything, what would become of this society? This question gnawed at the scientist so much that he set up and perpetrated the famous mouse utopia experiment. So what he did was he set up a sealed habitat with unlimited food, unlimited water, climate control, comfort, no predators, no disease. In short, paradise. Then he introduced 8 mice into this little perfect paradise. The population grew, doubling every 55 days. Social bonds seemed strong. Mothers raised their young. Groups formed territories. For us, it can be compared to the post-war boom of the 1950s and 1960s. Economic growth, low unemployment, strong family units. If the story had ended there, it would have been called Utopia Forever. But it didn't end there. So back to our experiment. After everything was set up and he had introduced the mice, after about 315 days, growth slowed. Then the cracks appeared. Violence erupted. Dominant males attacked each other without reason. Neglect set in. Then mothers started to abandon their babies. Isolation spread, and some of the mice withdrew and spent their time eating, sleeping, and grooming themselves. Calhoun referred to these mice as the beautiful ones. They looked happy. However, they no longer engaged in life's purpose. No reproduction, no challenge, and no contribution. It's eerily similar to what we are seeing today in our society. Young adults choosing digital comfort over actual relationships. People avoiding risks because survival no longer depends on risk. So, as social cohesion broke down, births fell to 0, and the last mouse baby was born on day number 600. No wars, no famine, no predators wiped them out. The mice just had no purpose whatsoever. Calhoun, after acknowledging this, repeated this experiment 35 more times after that. And every single time, the results were always the same. But before you say, well, humans aren't mice though, let's look at history. Case in point, take the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire, once unstoppable, collapsed from within after luxury eroded civic duty. The Abbasid Caliphate, its golden age, brought unmatched knowledge and culture. But over time, excess and complacency weakened its unity. Let's switch to another case in point, modern Japan. Modern Japan faces the hikikomori phenomenon. Hundreds of thousands of young people withdrawing entirely from society. In both the US and Europe, declining birth rates mirror the beautiful ones. Societies with comfort, but who are losing their drive to grow. Comfort without challenge doesn't just stall progress, it reverses it. Scientists call this the paradox of choice and hedonic adaptation. When everything is within reach, then nothing excites us anymore. You see, we're actually wired for struggle. As much as we hate struggle, it's in the overcoming of obstacles that meaning is found. Think of athletes who retire without some sort of new goal and then they spiral into a depression, or lottery winners whose lives fall apart despite their wealth. Our spiritual traditions understood this long time ago. Both the Bible and the Quran reminds us that if Allah were to grant abundant provisions to his servants, they would surely rebel on earth. Christian scriptures and Buddhist teaching and Stoic philosophy all warn that too much ease softens the spirit. Hardship is in punishment. It's the forge that shapes character. Think also, if you will, of a spoiled brat who gets everything they want. After a while, nothing excites them anymore because they've had everything, and they usually grow up to be the worst people to deal with. So what's basically being said here is, without confrontation and struggles, you can never be your best self ever. So the takeaway from all of this is that we need purpose, we need struggle, and we need to step out of the warm, safe bubble from time to time. That safe bubble we like to be in, I think they call it the comfort zone. So what that would mean is, it would mean taking on a challenge that you might even fail at, serving your community, learning a skill that frustrates you before it fulfills you. The comforts of modern life are blessings, but without direction, they become cages. So the summit to summit all up. The death of purpose means the death of society. Don't wait for the walls to close in. Find your purpose and fight for it. Live for it. With that, I'm going to close now. Hopefully you got something out of that message. And if you didn't, then surely you will find out the hard way. We must have purpose and we must have struggle. Everything could never go well all of the time. And anybody that was pondering this question, as I have before, this information, it means one thing. Now you know the answer. We can't all have an easy life because we will never be our best selves. So with that, I'll say, have a nice day. This is Said the Wise One, saying to you, be still, chill, and keep an iron will.